You'll never be a boss. You're not that guy. So I didn't argue. I didn't prove her wrong with words. I just went quiet and built the company she now works at. 2 years later, she walked into my office, resume in hand, asking for a temp job. I hired her to bring me coffee. We met in our final year of university. She was law school bound, dean's list, smart, sharp, the kind of woman who could win an argument with a look. I was different, not less ambitious, just not as polished. While she was studying tort reform and prepping for moot court, I was staying up late designing wireframes for an app I couldn't afford to build. Her name was Alyssa, and for a while, she believed in me. At least, I thought she did. We'd sit on her balcony at night talking about the future. She'd say, I'm going to own my own firm one day. I'd say, I'm going to build something people actually use. She'd laugh and say, You're such a dreamer. At first it sounded sweet. Later, it didn't. The cracks started small. She'd say things like, You're too in your head, or that app stuff is cool, but when are you going to get a real job? I'd brush it off, tell myself she was just stressed, that she didn't mean it, that maybe she was right. But then came the pitch night. I'd been working for 6 months on a prototype, barely slept, learned to code basic functions myself, told her I landed a slot to present at a small angel pitch meetup downtown. She looked up from her laptop, blinked and said, Wait, like, you're going to pitch to actual investors? Yeah, I said, 3-minute slot, I just need feedback. She tilted her head, genuinely confused. Zane, no offense, but you're not that guy. I stared at her. What guy? She shrugged like it was obvious. The boss type. The guy who runs the room. That's not who you are. You're you. I didn't get angry, didn't yell, I just nodded, and something in me switched. I still pitched that night, didn't land funding, but I got 3 emails the next morning from people who wanted to hear more. That's all I needed. She left 2 weeks later, said we were in different places, said I was chasing a fantasy, said she couldn't waste her 20s watching me try to become someone she didn't believe I could be. So she left, and I didn't stop her. No dramatic goodbye, no final kiss, no door slam, just a woman walking away, and a man watching her go. I didn't post a sad quote, didn't write a long caption, didn't call my friends to vent. I just opened my laptop and kept building. The first few months were rough. I couch hopped, ate cheap food, took contract gigs I hated just to fund the build. Everyone thought I'd give up, everyone thought I'd pivot, but her words stayed with me. You're not that guy. So I made it my goal, to become him. After Alyssa left, there was nothing left to prove to anyone, only to myself. I stopped checking her socials, stopped wondering who she was dating, or if she ever talked about me. I wasn't interested in her words anymore, only in results. I took freelance design jobs, branding, landing pages, anything that paid. Used 70% of what I earned to fund the app. Spent nights teaching myself back-end logic on YouTube. Spent weekends testing bugs. I didn't sleep much, didn't go out, didn't tell anyone what I was building, because when people stop believing in you, you stop sharing too early. The first beta flopped, glitches everywhere. Reviews were brutal. One guy on Reddit said, This app looks like it was built by someone with a vending machine brain. I laughed, took notes, fixed every bug by the next week. Then I launched it again, quietly. 6 weeks later, we hit 10K users, mostly word of mouth. Then came an email. A small accelerator in the city wanted me to pitch. Not an internship, not mentorship, equity, backing, real support. I walked into that room in a $40 button-down and 3 hours of sleep, pitched for 5 minutes. They didn't blink. One of the partners, a woman in a sharp grey suit, smiled and said, You're calm. Most guys try to impress us. You just know your product. I replied, I'm not here to impress. I'm here to deliver. We closed the deal a week later. $80,000 seed, office space, 2 interns, and a product roadmap 3 pages long. I built the team quietly. Lean, skilled, loyal. We didn't go viral. We went profitable. 18 months after Alyssa walked out of my life. I became what she said I wasn't. The guy who runs the room. Not because I wore a suit. Not because I had a logo behind me. But because I walked into every meeting now, with one truth in my chest. She left when it was just potential. Now she'd have to enter through the front desk and ask if I had time. I was reviewing quarterly numbers when our operations lead forwarded me a resume. New temp applicant from the agency, the email said. Admin support. We need someone for calendar overflow and front desk assistance. I clicked it. Name, Alyssa Grant. At first I thought it was a mistake. But no, same name, same school, same profile photo, corporate blazer, new hairstyle, same eyes. She'd gone from future litigator to applying for a 6-week desk assignment at my company. I sat back and stared at the screen for a minute, not smiling, not gloating, just surprised at how time works. I didn't tell anyone who she was, didn't flag the resume, didn't block it. I told HR to schedule the interview. 3 days later, she walked through our glass doors, wearing confidence like perfume, light, performative, and gone in 10 minutes. She didn't see me right away. She greeted the receptionist, sat in the waiting area, scrolling her phone. I stepped into the room. She looked up and froze. The smile left her face before she even stood. Zane? I nodded. Alyssa, you're early. She blinked. Wait, this is your company? It is. She paused. You're the founder, CEO, silence. She looked around, startup layout, branded walls, people moving with purpose. Her mouth opened, then closed. I gestured toward the chair. Have a seat. She sat, crossed her legs, uncrossed them. I opened the file. So, you're looking for temporary admin work. Calendar coordination, inbox management, coffee runs if needed. She cleared her throat. Yeah, just between things. I nodded once. Qualifications seem solid. We can start Monday. She blinked again. That's it? That's it. She stood slowly. Just to clarify, this is like entry level? Yes, she hesitated. You'd be my boss? I smiled slightly. You said I'd never be one. I walked her to the door myself, shook her hand. See you Monday. There's a cafe downstairs. Bring a menu. I like options. She left without saying anything else. Didn't look back, didn't smile. But I did. Not because I won, because I didn't have to win loudly. Her first day was quiet. She showed up 5 minutes early, didn't look me in the eye, didn't say much to anyone. She just sat at the front desk following the checklist HR gave her. Monitor inbox, answer overflow calls, grab coffee before 10 a.m. She didn't complain, but she didn't smile either, because now she knew. She was living in the same building. She once said I'd never run. I passed her in the hallway later that week. She looked up quickly, like she wasn't sure if she should speak. I nodded politely. She looked relieved. By week 2, she knocked on my office door, asked if I had 5 minutes. I said sure. She stepped in, didn't sit. I just wanted to say, you've really built something here. I nodded. Thank you. She waited, probably for me to say more. I didn't, she added. I've been reflecting a lot. I looked up, still no emotion. She continued. I shouldn't have said what I said back then, about you not being a boss. I was wrong. I didn't answer. Just let the moment sit. She added nervously. Anyway, I'm happy for you. Really. I finally responded. People say a lot of things when they don't see what's coming. She looked down. I see it now, she whispered. I nodded once. I know. She turned to leave and paused, then asked, Do you still think about it? What I said? I stood up, walked to the side table where the morning coffees were lined up, picked mine up, looked at her, calm. Every time you hand me my coffee, and every time it tastes better. She said nothing, just turned, opened the door, walked out. I didn't smirk, didn't gloat, didn't brag to my team, because revenge, it wasn't the point. But the coffee, that part, that was personal. A few weeks passed. She stayed in her role, professional, polite, efficient, never late, never sloppy, but never quite relaxed, because every day she came in. She walked past the front wall of our office, the one with our founding team photo, my name, my title, my story. I didn't treat her differently, didn't ask for anything extra, didn't even remind her of who I was, because she already knew. One afternoon, we had a board meeting running late. I stepped out to grab my second coffee of the day. She was already waiting near the break area, holding the cup out, lid perfectly sealed. I took it, nodded. She said softly, You really did it. I raised an eyebrow. She clarified, everything you said you'd build. I didn't see it before, but it's real now. I looked at her. No anger, no smugness, just stillness. It was always real. You just didn't have the vision for it. She nodded. Didn't argue. Didn't try to reclaim her part in the past. Because that's what makes the win complete. I didn't just become the man she never believed in. I became the man she had to serve coffee to. Every morning at 9 a.m. I didn't fire her. Didn't demote her. She left on her own 2 weeks later. The temp contract ended. She didn't renew it. Didn't ask to. A new assistant took over the front desk. Same job, different dynamic. I still walk past that break area every morning. Still drink that same coffee. But now when I take the first sip, I don't think about what she said. I think about what I proved. Not to her, to myself. I didn't build this company to prove her wrong. I built it to prove myself right. But the truth is, her words stayed with me longer than I expected. You're not that guy. She meant I wasn't loud enough, wasn't alpha enough, didn't have that fake CEO energy people like to post about. But what she didn't understand, real leaders don't need noise. They need vision, consistency, and the patience to build when no one's watching. She thought being a boss meant showing off. For me, it meant showing up every day, even when no one believed in me. I never got revenge. I never needed to, because her role in my life wasn't to stay. It was to push me silently toward the version of me she couldn't imagine, but had to watch succeed. Sometimes you don't need to fight the people who doubt you. You just need to grow so quietly that one day they have to knock on the door you now own and ask if they can come in. She gave me her opinion. I gave her a job. Now every morning I decide how the day starts, and every night I sleep just fine knowing this. I never had to become someone else to win. I just had to become more of who I already was, and let time do the talking.